Welcome to today's 5-minute Bible study in the Gospel of John. We're still in John chapter 11. Today we're starting to read at verse 36. This is the account of Jesus raising Lazarus from the dead. In the last few days, we've seen that Jesus has arrived at Bethany. He's met with both Martha and Mary, the sisters, who have both expressed their regret that, Lord, if you'd only been here, you could have saved him. You could have healed him before death came. Jesus told the sisters, I'm the resurrection and the life. They think he's referring, though, to the last day, even though he says, I am the resurrection and the life. Then he goes to the grave. Even the crowd that has gathered to comfort Martha and Mary expressed their thought, if Jesus had just come sooner, he could have helped him. Notice what they said. The Jews said, these are the ones who have come to comfort the sisters, see how much he loved him. Could not he who opened the eyes of the blind have kept this man from dying? So even the crowd is thinking, if they had just got here sooner, if Jesus had just got here sooner, he could have saved him. Jesus, deeply moved, is at the tomb. It was a cave. A stone has been laid across the entrance. And Jesus said, take away the stone. It's time. Take away the stone. Martha responds. Martha, always the practical one, says, but Lord, by this time there's a bad odor, for he's been there 4 days. You know, remember it had been mentioned earlier that Lazarus had already been in the grave for 4 days. Now it's emphasized again. There is a bad odor. Yes, after 4 days, the decomposition process of the body would be ongoing. It would stink. It really would. And Martha knows that. You know, it's interesting that in the gospel accounts, there are 3 times we are told Jesus raised someone from the dead. Now, John in his gospel just tells us about the raising of Lazarus. We've already talked about how he just selects 7 of the signs to mention. But the other gospels mention 2 other raisings, 2 other resurrections. One was the daughter of Jairus. Remember, he was a synagogue ruler who one day came to Jesus and said, my little girl is so sick. Please come and heal her. But before Jesus got to the scene, the crowds came in and said, it's too late. She's already died. But Jesus said, don't worry. It's going to be all right. So they went on to the house. They were already mourning her death. She had just died. And Jesus goes up into the upper room with Jairus and the mother and a couple of his disciples and says, little girl, arise. And he restores her to life. So there's one resurrection there. There's also another resurrection in the Gospels. In the village of Nain, Jesus meets a funeral procession. We're told there's a widow who's lost her only son, and the funeral procession is now on the way to the grave. Now, it's Jewish custom that you bury the same day as death occurs. So the young man would have died that day, and now they're on the way to bury him. And Jesus stops the funeral procession and raises the young man to life. So there are 2 other accounts in the gospel where Jesus restores life to one who is dead. He resurrects. But the interesting thing is in both those cases, he raised them on the same day that they died. They had just died. Natural decomposition had not yet begun. For the little girl, she had died while Jesus was on the way to the house. And for the widow's son, he had died earlier that day. But in Lazarus' case, he had already been dead for 4 days. That's what's so notable about this miracle. It's way too late. According to human thinking, it's way too late. He's already been dead for 4 days. Decomposition has begun. There is a bad odor. That's what Martha said. Jesus replies, did I not tell you that if you believe, you would see the glory of God? Even though he's already been dead 4 days, even though by all human understanding it's way, way, way too late. If you believe in me and who I am, you will see the glory of God. So they took away the stone. Jesus had told them, remove the stone. They took away the stone so they could see the power of God. You know, so often in our own circumstances, Jesus says we've got to take away the stone. Sometimes in our practicality, like Martha, we think it's not possible. The miraculous cannot occur. The power of God cannot break out. We're so accustomed to thinking the way the world thinks. We've got stones that are in the way. Jesus says, take the stone away. Remove the obstacles. Believe in what I can do. Don't be bound by quote, worldly wisdom so that you cannot believe the power of God. Open your eyes and see what I will do. He said, take away the stone. You're about to see the power of God displayed. So they took away the stone. He's about to call Lazarus forth. We'll look at that in tomorrow's session. So join us next time for our 5-minute Bible study in the Gospel of John.